All right, let's jump into another deep dive.
Sounds good.
Today, we're looking at something, you probably see every single day, but maybe don't think about too hard. T-shirts.
Yeah.
We found this fun article. It's called Top 10 Trendy T-Shirts Every American Should Own. And it got us thinking,
Hmm.
what do these trends actually say about, like, culture and style?
Right.
And, maybe even about ourselves.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
honestly, when was the last time you thought about, like, what your T-shirt was really saying?
It's easy to overlook those kind of things,
Yeah,
but they
totally.
can actually show a lot about what's happening right now,
I know, right?
like with culture and stuff.
And, like, how people express themselves.
Yeah, definitely.
So this article, right off the bat, it mentions tie-dye is back in a big way.
Oh yeah.
Are you rocking the swirls and spirals?
Well, the thing about tie-dye is it seems to come back like every few decades.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, often when, society's kind of changing a lot, like think about the 60s and 70s.
Right.
Tie-dye was like almost a uniform,
Yeah.
for people protesting the war and like being rebellious. So do you think it's popular now for similar reasons?
I like that.
Like, are we feeling those anxieties again?
It makes you think, maybe we don't even realize all the reasons we choose what we wear.
Uh-huh.
The article also talks about vintage band tees, which, I mean, I totally get. It's
Oh.
like they're little pieces of music history.
Yeah, they're like more than just fashion.
Yeah.
It's like they're the artifacts.
Right.
Like, it's really interesting how, like, different kinds of music have their own look with band tees.
Oh, that's true.
Like, a punk band's shirt's going to say something different than, like, a folk band's.
For sure.
What do you think your favorite band's shirt, like, says about that scene and what they're all about?
It's like, yeah, a badge of honor.
Yeah.
You're showing, like, what you belong to.
Right, exactly.
Connecting with people who, get it.
Totally.
Speaking of choices, the article also talked about eco-friendly T-shirts,
Oh, yeah.
which is, awesome to see, right? Like,
Yeah.
sustainable fashion's becoming more and more a thing.
It is, but it brings up some, like, important questions, too.
Like what?
Well, are these brands really doing things ethically?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it just, clever marketing?
Yeah, yeah,
Like, it's great to see organic cotton and stuff becoming more common
for sure.
and brands being more open about, like, where things come from.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But there's always more to think about than just what's, written on the label.
Totally. You really do have to think about, like, what your clothes are actually saying.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to the trends. This article also mentions some classic styles that, like, never go out of style.
Mm-hmm.
The simple white tee,
Oh, classic.
statement tees with, graphics and stuff,
Right.
and, like, sporty styles. What do you think about these old favorites?
Well, the white tee, that's proof that simplicity never really dies.
Sure.
Like, in a world where everything's fast fashion and trends are always changing, it's like a blank slate.
Yeah.
You can make it your own.
It's the ultimate, I don't know, like a chameleon. It can be anything.
Exactly.
What about those statement tees? I see them as, like, a really bold way to, wear your heart on your sleeve, literally.
Yeah, they can be powerful, but there's also that, like, risk of oversimplification.
Oh, interesting.
Like a slogan can start a conversation, but does it really lead to anything deeper?
Oh, I see.
Like, is it a real commitment or just like a surface level thing?
That's a good point. It's easy to just follow the trend without actually thinking about it.
Yeah, exactly.
And finally, those sporty T-shirts, comfort and style, all in one.
It's interesting, right? Like, it's all about being relaxed and, like, dressing more casually.
Mm-hmm.
We're moving away from those tighter fits and going for looser, more relaxed styles. Makes you wonder if it's because our lives are so busy and demanding now.
Maybe.
Like, are we craving comfort in what we wear?
Maybe our clothes are like armor,
Could be.
against all the craziness. But comfort isn't the only thing changing the T-shirt world.
Right.
The article also mentions that organic cotton tees are getting more popular.
Oh, definitely.
It's great to see sustainability being talked about more, isn't it?
It is. Choosing organic cotton is like a step towards helping the environment
Right.
and making sure people are treated fairly in the fashion industry.
Yeah.
It's good to see these options becoming more available and, like, not super expensive.
Yeah, definitely.
What do you think's driving this change? Like, are people just more aware or are they demanding these options?
I think it's both, probably. People are more aware of what their choices mean.
Yeah.
And they're looking for brands that, share their values. And as sustainable options get more stylish, and easier to find, it's easier to choose them.
For sure.
So as we kind of wrap up this part of our deep dive into the T-shirt world, What are some of the big takeaways for you?
Honestly, I'm surprised by how much T-shirts, even though they seem so simple, can tell us about bigger cultural things
Yeah, that's true.
and what people like. From tie-dye coming back to everyone wanting athleisure and sustainable materials, these basic clothes can really say a lot about who we are,
Totally.
what we care about, and how we want to show ourselves to the world.
It's like we're figuring out the secret language of T-shirts.
Right.
And I think the biggest message is there's a style out there for everyone.
Oh, yeah, for
Or
sure.
whether you want to make a statement, show off your fandom, or choose eco-friendly options, there's a T-shirt out there waiting to tell your story.
That's a great way to put it. Like what we wear today might tell a different story tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
But for now, let's enjoy the stylish present. Before we move on, any last thoughts for our listeners?
Ooh, good question.
I would tell everyone to really look at their own T-shirt choices. Like,
Yeah.
what are your shirts saying? Are they showing the real you? And most importantly, are you having fun with it?
I love that. It's all about expressing yourself and feeling good in what you wear.
Exactly.
If you're looking for some T-shirt inspiration, check out the article that got us talking about all this.
Good idea.
Consider us your official T-shirt tour guides, I guess.
Yeah,
We've shown you the lay of the land. Now it's your turn to explore.
exactly. What story will your T-shirt tell?
Ooh, I like that. Yeah, it's hard to say what'll actually last in the fashion world, right? Things change so fast. Speaking of changing, this article mentions that camo prints are making a comeback.
Oh, yeah.
You remember those?
Camo's interesting. It always seems to pop up again,
Uh-huh.
but it's usually got a slightly different feel each time.
Interesting.
This time around, it seems less about the military and more about that rugged streetwear look.
It's like fashion's playing hide and seek.
Haha, yeah,
But now camo is all about blending, that urban cool with the classic pattern.
right.
What do you think about that shift?
Well, it's cool how a pattern meant to make you blend in could become something that makes you stand out.
Yeah.
Maybe it's about taking back that rebellious feeling
Mm.
or wanting clothes that are practical and tough,
Makes sense.
or maybe people just like how the patterns look.
That's true too.
What do you think draws people to camo?
I think it's probably a little bit of everything.
Probably.
It definitely makes a statement. And speaking of statements, the article also mentions pop culture tees.
Oh, yeah.
Those shirts with your favorite movies and shows and characters and stuff.
Right.
It's like wearing your fandom for everyone to see.
They're a great example of how fashion and what you're into connect.
Totally.
They let us show off our love for, certain stories or characters
Yeah.
and connect with others who feel the same way.
Mm.
It's almost like saying, hey, I'm into this too, without actually saying it.
Exactly. It's a conversation starter
Yeah.
and a way to find your people. And then there's the trend of Longline or Oversized Tees,
Oh, yeah.
all about that relaxed urban vibe.
It shows that people are really embracing comfort and a more casual way of dressing these days.
Mm-hmm.
It's moving away from those tighter fits we used to see.
Yeah, yeah.
Makes you wonder if it's because our lives are getting so hectic.
It could be.
Maybe we're looking for that feeling of ease and freedom in what we wear.
Maybe our clothes are becoming like our armor against the chaos.
Maybe.
But comfort isn't the only thing driving changes in the T-shirt world.
Right.
The article also points out that organic cotton tees are becoming more and more popular.
Oh, definitely.
It's really great to see sustainability becoming a bigger part of the conversation, don't you think?
It is. Choosing organic cotton is a way to, lessen our impact on the planet
Yeah,
and support ethical practices in the fashion industry. It's encouraging to see these options becoming more common and, not breaking the bank.
definitely.
What do you think's driving this shift towards sustainable fashion? Is it people demanding it or just being more aware?
I think it's a mix of both. People are more aware of how their choices matter,
Uh-huh.
and they're looking for brands that reflect their values. And as these sustainable options get more stylish and easier to find, it's a no-brainer to choose them.
Yeah, for sure.
So as we kind of wrap up this part of our deep dive into the world of T-shirts, what is some of the biggest things you're taking away?
I'm struck by how much T-shirts, even though they seem so simple, can show us about, bigger trends in culture
Yeah, that's true.
and what people are drawn to, from tie-dye coming back to everyone loving athleisure and sustainable materials. These basic clothes can really say a lot about who we are,
Totally.
what we believe in, and how we want to present ourselves to the world.
It's like we're decoding the secret language of T-shirts.
Exactly.
And I think the most important message is there's a style out there for everyone.
Oh, absolutely.
Whether you want to make a statement, show off your fandom, or go for eco-friendly options, there's a T-shirt out there waiting to tell your story.
Absolutely. And the cool thing is, those stories are always changing, just like fashion itself.
That's so true. Like what we wear today might tell a different story tomorrow.
Right.
But for now, let's enjoy the stylish present. Before we move on, any last thoughts for our listeners?
I'd encourage everyone to really take a look at their own T-shirt choices. What are your
Yeah.
shirts saying? Are they showing the real you? And most importantly, are you having fun with it?
I love that. It's all about expressing yourself and feeling good in what you wear.
Exactly.
If you want some T-shirt inspiration, check out the article we've been talking about.
Yeah, good idea.
Think of us as your personal T-shirt guides.
Haha,
We've
exactly.
shown you around. Now it's your turn to explore.
What story will your T-shirt tell?
Wow, this deep dive into T-shirts has like really opened my eyes.
Yeah, it's cool, right?
I'm looking at my own closet totally differently now.
It's easy to just not think about clothes too much.
Yeah.
But when you do, it's really interesting to see what they say about us.
It's like each T-shirt has its own story.
Totally.
Thinking about all these trends, it makes me wonder if your T-shirt could actually talk,
Uh-huh.
what story would it tell about you?
Ooh, that's a good one. Mine would probably talk about, someone who likes comfort
Okay.
and, clothes that last. And maybe a little bit of, subtle style.
I like it.
And it might even hint at, someone who's fascinated by how trends keep coming back around.
Yeah, with like new meanings.
Exactly.
That's awesome. It's like a wearable autobiography.
Oh, right.
Subtly telling everyone about your life and what you believe in. What about you? What story would your T-shirt tell?
Oh, man, mine would probably get all philosophical.
Okay.
Talking about how music shapes who you are
Yeah, yeah.
and how it brings people together. Or maybe it tells stories about going to concerts
Oh, I love it.
and that feeling of discovering a new band you love.
I can totally see that. It reminds us that what we wear can be like super personal,
Yeah,
connected to things we're really passionate about. It brings us back to that like silent language of T-shirts,
right.
the way they tell everyone who we are and what matters to us.
Exactly.
So we've talked about trends and history and psychology and even like how sustainable things are all through T-shirts.
And it's been a journey.
But in the end, I think the most important thing is to, wear what makes you feel good,
Yeah,
what shows your own style and tells your story in a real way.
well said. So go out there, embrace your style, and have fun with it.
Yes.
And maybe you'll even inspire someone else to think a little more about what their clothes are saying.
That's a great point because, fashion is something we all use to communicate,
We do.
whether we realize it or not. So keep experimenting, keep expressing yourselves, and keep exploring the awesome world of style.
Absolutely.
Until next time.